Hello and welcome to the Ram Network's post-show coverage of Summerslam, live from Shittown, Cleveland. What?
The mistake on the lake, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
but
the
a
whole
pay-per-view that delivered. An old Palm Water Dave with a face full of food because he's an elderly and doesn't realize the camera is on.
He doesn't know how this whole thing works.
No,
but welcome to the Ram Network. I am your co-host, Timmy C., along with Pondwater Dave and Andrew Hermes from TNA Top 10. What's up, guys?
Well, this is the Ram Network, wrestling and more. And I believe
wrestling and pizza.
Well, there's a show on Ram Network called Just Put It in Your Mouth.
Yeah.
So I got my little Red Baron action going here.
Wow.
Is that because we haven't put a show out long enough? Palm Water, you're taking over our gimmick? Is that what that is?
Some real gourmet shit there, Pond Water.
I've got this microwavable pizza, washing it down with Dan Gable beer.
Dan Gable beer? What is that?
Is it shooter beer?
Yeah, it's sheep beer.
It's shoot beer. I asked if it was shooter beer, but okay.
Probably shit beer.
It's great beer. I got to admit, I probably wouldn't have tried it if I would have had to buy one, but they gave them to us at the Dan Gable Museum, and I bought a 6-pack before we left. It was really good.
What kind of beer is it? Like a light beer, lager?
It's a golden lager.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's good. Standard. I like it.
Standard microbrew.
So speaking of putting it in their mouth, we can start with match 1. Liv Morgan probably putting it in her mouth right now.
Hang on, let me, I've got slides for this.
Oh, we got
Dominic. Well, that's the wrong one.
Well, we'll
start with that one.
I can jump around. I can jump around to the one we want to start with.
No, hey, look at that.
There they are.
Well, okay, we'll just keep going. Whatever.
There we go. This is how we kicked it off.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's an elderly, and you can get that shirt at jumpinthepond.com. Support
the
Pond
one he's
Water
wearing
in his retirement fund. He is far closer to his retirement than you are and needs all the money you can provide.
No lies detected.
We'll see.
No lies detected.
All right, so let's start with match number 1. We had Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley, and what everyone knew was going to be Dominic's turn.
It happened just like we called it.
Yeah, pretty much telegraphed this one. I love the smirk, and then you weren't sure if he was going to get away with it, and then they lock lips, and it's ball game. And every straight man in America is jealous of Dominic Mysterio. If you follow him on social, you've seen his wife.
I'm going to bet his wife is probably jealous after that kiss because that was some open mouth shit.
He's making out with Liv Morgan now, and he was cucking for mommy a week ago. So y'all men jealous of the
Charm
man.
life.
And you know, Rhea, when she came out tonight wearing that gear, she was putting on a face presentation.
Well, she is a face now.
Yeah. I'm just telling you, she was as Roll Tide as Roll Tide could be.
Story aside, the match I thought was great too. Liv held up her end of the deal, and this was a good way to get the crowd up and to get them started for SummerSlam. He must have taken a bite of pizza.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Liv has been much better in the ring the last year and a half. She was not great when she came up, but she's been good.
One of the things I like about her in this match is she's so much undersized, and that's going to be anybody really, unless you put, Nia up against Rhea. Yeah. Everybody's going to be undersized with Rhea Ripley, but she made it believable. And then the way they did the finish with the chair, that was fantastic. I absolutely am the king of kayfabe, Dave, but I also love to rib your ass. So clearly he's got a mouthful of pizza again instead of pond water. But no, the way they did this match, the DDT it's not a DDT, but whatever her finish is, the what is it, flatline or whatever, onto the chair, great job. The Dominic Mysterio cosplay of Eddie Guerrero was absolutely perfect with the smirk and the look, and then, of course, the kiss. But to your point, Dave and Tim, this went the way everybody thought it was going to go. You can't give mommy the title back just yet. And, you've got another chapter to build, whether we like it or not, that she not got the title.
Oh, I think this is great. This advanced the storyline the way it needed to.
Brandon Perkins, obviously a pervert. He said, "We mommy got screwed not the way we want to see." I don't know that we want to see that. I mean, she's a lovely woman. I don't need the reassess. I mean, I'm all right. Yeah,
you have derailed, sir.
Reassess tape. I'm in.
Yeah,
he's at where. Well, I'm like, who is this guy talking? It's
he's full of. Yeah,
he wouldn't only just watch it; he would subscribe to it,
and probably pay more than $10 a month, which is all you need to pay if you want to join us here on the Ram Network every month for bonus content.
I love how you did that.
It's called a transition, David, and I called you David too. I knew I was going to get it in before the show was over. But no, great match, good story, and of course they've got Berlin coming up. And then Bad Blood, October the 5th in Atlanta at the State Farm Arena. So they have plenty to do with this.
Berlin.
Hey, and I'm going to tell you right off the top of it, five jars.
Oh, already?
5 jars.
For storytelling, I'm guessing.
I couldn't poke a hole in any part of this match.
Correct. I liked it.
Good. Yeah, and the placement, the refereeing, the interference, it was all there. And it was tight. It was tight.
It was great.
Wrestling good, storytelling good. I dig it. What we have up next?
There we go.
No.
That one. Nothing. Yeah, that's right.
Was it?
Okay. Yeah. Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker.
Go
ahead.
Former now Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn taking on Braun Breaker. We kind of all knew how this was going to. I mean, we knew how a lot of this was going to turn out, just the way we were leading into it. But it delivered on all fronts, I believe. This match was good. Sami got his shit in early, and then Braun basically just did Braun things and broke him.
Yeah, I mean, this was not. This wasn't a 50-50 contest. Braun Breaker dominated him.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what we thought we were going to see the last match.
Yeah. I said, while I was watching on Watch Along with One True Sport, this could have been a squash match and it wouldn't have hurt Sami. Could have been Braun's, big time. They didn't necessarily need it that way. But I did point out, and I'm sure both of you saw it, the Frankensteiner. He runs the ropes. He pauses. He hits the Frankensteiner.
The Frankensteiner.
That speed, balance, and power is absolutely a ridiculous combination.
Well, and he's a lot safer than his uncle doing it, I guess would be what I would.
Yes, we're calling this the Frankensteiner.
Well, if that's what you want to call it, that's fine.
Well, that's what they called it on the broadcast.
Is it? I didn't hear that's what they called it.
Yes.
But I saw Scott Steiner.
And then I believe Michael Cole said, "Don't let Scott Steiner hear you call it that."
Right.
Yeah.
And he was in a suite, so he could have heard you. Just give him some math problems. He'll be fine. But to your point, Andrew, I think that Braun is all of the strength that his uncle and father were. He's quite a bit safer, I believe, and not quite the asshole that his uncle was. And possibly his father, if you want to believe, kind of what's out there. I think Braun Breaker has a bright future ahead of him, and I think they did a good job of setting him up. I can't wait for the day we see the Gunther Braun Breaker match.
Yeah, they need a year. He needs a year. He needs a lot of matches. He needs to be defending this Intercontinental title twice a month, probably. Needs to be involved in some physicality. It's not that he's not trained properly. It's that now the lights are brighter. He's not a mid-card guy. He's always had the lights on him because of his last name and his pedigree and who he is. But he's always delivered.
Because his last name is Breaker?
But he's delivered without who Rick Steiner, you smart ass. Rex Steiner. But anyway, the point being, because of his pedigree, the magnifying glass is upon him. It doesn't seem to bother him a bit. But now that he's carrying a title and going to be integral in mid-card storylines, there's going to be a little bit more pressure. I don't think he folds. I think he excels.
No, he's definitely ready for prime time, I think.
Yeah, solid 4-jar match from me.
I agree. Not quite the storytelling or the match, but still very, very, very good.
Yeah, a couple of spots they missed, but I mean they recovered well.
Well, my thing is why was he so dominant this match, but not last match? And me going back to his defeat from the last match kind of drew my attention away from what was going on in this match, and that's why I only give it 4 jars.
Yeah,
that was my.
He had a good counter for the haluva kick. That spear was fantastic out of the corner. One of the OTS members said, "Well, you know, he's Goldberg, but he's what Goldberg should have been." I said, "We didn't really train Goldberg, and Goldberg wasn't a trained wrestler the way Braun Breaker is an actual amateur wrestler prior to becoming a real wrestler or a professional wrestler, excuse me." And his brother or his father, won't Rick Steiner, and his uncle won't Scott Steiner. There is genetics and talent and God-given ability that this man has. And then there's hard work that he works, that he adds to it. So he's a perfect combination. Bright future.
Well, before we go on to the next match, I want to share a little fun information. My friend Efren shared this with me that no underdog won tonight. Everyone who won tonight was at least a 2-1 favorite. Cody was a 50-1 favorite to win. The over and under on Cody Road Crossroads was 2.5, and he hit 3 tonight.
Hit the over.
So it's just some fun. People actually gamble on wrestling in 2024.
Not in the United States, they don't. If you go to Europe, you can do that, but still don't get that.
But no underdogs tonight. Everything pretty much went as expected.
The booking for this card was very paint by numbers, but they still made it entertaining.
But so exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not displeased with it at all. And I mean, we had the conversation, what match do you open with? And they opened with Rhea and Liv. They could have opened with this match. It would have been fine. But I think the placement, the pacing, and the length of duration of the matches, everything made sense. It all made sense. And maybe it made too much sense and there's not a lot of surprise here, but there doesn't need to be a swerve at every turn either. And no, I'm not trying to be Vince Russo. I'm just saying we don't have to have an unexpected surprise in everything. Sometimes it's okay to have the foregone conclusion be what happens.
So what do we have next? What's the next match?
Punk McIntyre?
No,
LA Knight and
Logan Paul.
All right, I have to confess, I was in a event for my son. I missed most of this match. I caught that LA Knight one, which I do believe is the correct path for this.
100%.
I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Logan Paul from here on out, because I don't think he's going to fade away.
No, we talked about it last night on the preview show. 23 million YouTube followers Logan Paul has. He brings a different segment of an audience to professional wrestling. The other thing we talked about, and I think that WWE has finally decided they need to do something with LA Knight. They've heated him up. They've cooled him off. They teased that they're actually going to do something with him. Clearly, with Cody at one world title and Gunther the other, that's not the play. This made sense. And then forget all the controversial stuff with Paul and his comments. I think he'll survive those. It's not that, because this isn't the first or the last time that he's going to make something that gets a lot of buzz on the social media when he has as many followers as he does. And
I don't think they run from that. I think they're going to use that. I mean, all right, there's a saying, any press is good press.
Yep.
Particularly in the wrestling business, unless your name is Vince McMahon, any press is good press.
Well, and he's a heel anyway, so it's not like it's hurting him.
Yeah. Right. And he's never shied away from any of it. It might upset the higher ups at WWE, but
I don't think it does because it just draws more eyes.
The WWE needs Logan Paul more than Logan Paul needs WWE.
That's 100% the truth as well. Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
I don't know. I think it's a lot closer to 50-50 than people are going to give it credit for. Because what's he going to do? Go back to boxing?
Well, my thing is he doesn't need any of it, and he brings a new segment. Like Logan Paul fans aren't necessarily professional wrestling fans, but if he's doing professional wrestling, they'll pay attention to it.
Yeah, my son my son pays attention to wrestling, but when Logan Paul came in, he paid more attention.
Yeah, my grandson who does not like wrestling, he's autistic, and it makes him tense that somebody's getting hurt. And but he saw me watching it, and he saw Logan Paul and knew that was the guy because he sees him on on YouTube and all that, and he likes Prime, and that drew him to watch the rest of the show with me. And yeah, it was stressful. Parts of it was stressful to him. But what I'm saying is that Logan Paul drew him in.
Yeah.
And I saw it. And that, that told me right there that all I needed to know about the drawing power of Logan Paul. That being said, this match did not hit that hard for me. And I'm going to tell you why. He didn't have the guy dressed up as a bottle of Prime tonight. But I knew, and I don't know what the guy's name was.
Who was that, by the way?
He looked
because
like
I had the volume turned down.
Machine Gun Kelly, wasn't it?
No, wasn't Machine Gun Kelly.
It wasn't Machine Gun Kelly?
Is Machine Gun Kelly going by initials now?
MGK?
MGK.
Oh, they don't call him Machine Gun Kelly anymore?
Did they call him MGK?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who that was then.
Oh.
I was wondering.
Well, he looked like he was taken off of a vandalized wall.
Yeah.
With the Jenkas and everything.
I'm semi-elderly and thought that might have been him.
I had no idea, and I didn't catch it when they said. Now that they said the initials, I mean,
yeah.
But at 58 years old, I'm not supposed to know who that guy is.
45, I barely knew who he was.
But I knew. You call him whatever you want to call him. I called him Logan Paul's brass knucks handler.
No, he had the chain. He gave him the chain.
Well, it had knucks on it.
It had brass knucks on it.
Oh.
I said that during the watch along I was helping do. I couldn't stand the fact that the knucks didn't end the match. A fist from Logan Paul has ended the match before without the knucks.
But he didn't get him solid. It wasn't solid contact. It wasn't.
I watched the
ideally
replay,
it would have been he would have been taking the belly to back and got him in full stride, but it looked like it was a glancing blow.
Coach Keith Morrison knew who he was.
Damn straight. And because I knew his match wasn't predictable in a good way, is what I'm saying.
Formulaic.
But still 3 jars and a mouthful for me.
Yeah, I think they waited too long on LA Knight. I hope he can make something out of this, but they should have done this 8 months ago. He was hot 8 months ago.
Everybody's hot. I mean, they got a lot of hot people right now.
Well, I'm not.
Everybody can't work at the top, but this match was fine. There were some good spots, as you would expect. Logan Paul with the Browns outfit playing to the Cleveland crowd. Good for him. Still the mistake on the lake, but
they're terrible.
And it worked because they put LA Knight in a position to chase the champion.
Yeah. With
all the, he stole the Prime Mobile. He went to his house, was chilling in his pool.
Stop right there. That stupid pipe gimmick through the Prime window was completely unnecessary.
Yeah, not real glass.
Then he missed it, and then it folded, and that was not good. Not good at all.
Not everything can be perfect, Andrew.
Well, that's why we gave it 3 jars and a mouthful.
There you go.
But why do it? Like, obviously, I don't know.
If it had worked, it'd have been fine. It'd have just been, hey, cool.
I still would ask, why'd you break his window? Why'd you break his window? Stop.
Well, you're waiting for the day where he runs him over with the Prime Mobile.
Because he's a dick, yeah.
But he's not bald, so you don't hit that motherfucker with the car, as we learned. Conrad Thompson.
All right, let's move on to the next match.
Speaking of Conrad Thompson.
You mean Jelly Roll?
I was watching.
That was tweeted out.
Oh, somebody tweeted that?
So because, Robert Karpelis did. He said, I didn't know Conrad was singing the national anthem.
I was watching this on Ad Free Shows. I was hosting a watch party. Adam Baum joined us. Brian Clark joined us and watched the entire pay-per-view with us. And but our good friend Antonio Santos goes, Jelly Roll is what Conrad Thompson would look like post-prison.
Looser butthole.
I couldn't. I just picked up the phone. Antonio Santos said.
Sorry, Antonio. You're kicked out of ad-free shows.
Anyway.
So next match.
Now is it CM Punk and...
No, it was the next woman, wasn't it?
I believe it.
We should have just reviewed this in the way I had the slides from last night.
I believe it was Nia versus Bayley.
Oh shit! What'd I do?
There we go.
So
this didn't go like I thought it was going to.
Really? You thought Bayley was going to win?
I thought Bayley was going to retain.
Yeah.
I about pooped myself when Tiffy Time came out. I was like, "Oh,
the crowd did too.
That's going to be fun." And then no,
when that music hit and it said it's Tiffy Time, that crowd popped for it.
No,
they're ready for her.
And
so there's going to be a turn there on down the line, Nia and Tiffy.
Oh, eventually, and but it didn't go like I thought I thought it would. I think that I leaned for Bayley to retain because there was going to be so many. I thought there was going to be so many title changes on the show, but Nia Jax defeating Bayley is what I wanted. I really wanted it. I really like. I love Nia Jax, and I think I'm excited to see her. She had that queen crown on when she came to the ring.
I asked, was that a different queen crown, guys? Did that look different?
It was different. Even Brian Clark thought it was different too. And I just like to point out the natural matchup that when Charlotte Flair comes back, she might take exception to this Nia Jax being not only the champion, but calling herself the queen.
She coming back anytime soon?
She had an ACL. I mean, that's a hard one to come back from. She was in the ring.
She's been in the ring. She's been in the gym, all that stuff. But no, Charlotte's not gonna, do anything right now. This is Rhea's division, Dave, but it's okay.
Not against Nia Jax though. So I think that we're going to see. I think we're going to see Charlotte and Nia possibly at WrestleMania.
We could. Now, one thing I want to ask you guys about, because it stuck out to me like a sore Peter, the dominance that Nia had at the end of this match. It was clear cut.
Yes.
Slam, bonsai, pin, and Bayley was not kicking out. And Bayley kicked out of the bonsai earlier in the match.
Right.
And hit the power bomb too. So this conclusive finish, you like it? You don't like it? I liked it. But what do you?
I do too. I mean, it came off of Tiffany's distraction. I mean,
I'm good with it.
Once Tiffany showed up for the distraction, Nia kicked it into the next gear, and I'm excited to see what she's going to do.
I'm good with it, but where does Bayley go from here? I guess would be my question, because she is one of their top level women's performers. What the hell do? You got to find something for her.
Well, the problem is, I said this last night, and again, you weren't here with us, Tim, so you can weigh in on this. I think they focus so much on Liv and Rhea that they kind of just let this one be a secondary type story, and they had
very much.
They had a lot of history they could have cultivated and made this a little bit more personal and a little bit more edgy and that sort of thing. And they took a glancing shot at it, but they never really spent the time I think that it deserved. And that's just an opinion.
I think that part of it is honestly a political thing with SmackDown leaving Fox, I think they've kind of taken their eye off SmackDown, or maybe rub some of the shine off SmackDown and put it more on Raw. Because Raw's been a better show lately than SmackDown in my mind.
Okay.
Because they even announced pushing SmackDown going to USA September 13th.
Well, yeah, and since they're lame duck status on Fox, Fox is pulling the trigger on editing it so bad. I mean, the constant blackouts makes it almost impossible to watch. I mean, they're hitting that censor button on them so hard.
I somehow missed they were moving because I thought the Fox deal was still in place.
No,
has it already been 5 years?
They announced it during the pay, or well, I'm sure it's been announced, but they advertised during the pay-per-view. September 13th is the first SmackDown on USA.
Yeah, they're going to USA, and Raw's going to stay on USA through the end of the year.
And then they're going to Netflix.
Then they're going to Netflix in January.
Yeah. Got that. Yeah. But I just hadn't heard anything about I just didn't realize it'd been 5 years that they'd been on Fox already. Because that was a 5-year deal.
3 years, wasn't it?
Was it 3?
Well, I think it was a 5-year deal, 3 years with 2 options.
Okay. Well, whatever it is, I didn't realize that it was coming to an end already.
Yeah. September 13th, they will be on USA. So I think they've kind of just let up on it for now. It hasn't been the hot show that it was a year ago.
Correct.
Well, it's good too. They keep USA wrestling on USA as they have for about the last.
Well, it'll be good. It'll be good this week, but we'll get there.
Absolutely.
Next match.
I gave this one 4 jars.
4.
I thought it was good. Told story. Did what I needed it to do.
I'd have gone 3 jars. Maybe
I thought this one was all right. I don't think Bayley's had a great run as the champ. You'll hear me say that again in a minute about somebody else. But I think, like you say, Tim, they got to do something with her. Who did she take the title off of? I can never remember her name from Damage Control.
Io Sky.
She's another fantastic wrestler.
By the way, I stand corrected. Brandon Perkins says it was a 5-year deal that started in September of 2019, which explains it because we lost 2 years to COVID. So
yeah. And thank you, Brandon, because I honestly didn't think it'd been that long, the 5 years. But
I think next up we had.
Yes, that's what we had.
Yeah.
Punk versus McIntyre with Seth Rollins as the ref.
Seth Rollins coming out, whatever he was wearing to the ring.
I liked it.
Did somebody say Beetlejuice 3 times?
It was fantastic. We will not hear you shame Seth Rollins' outfit on this show, Mr. Elderly.
He had the sleeveless shirt like he likes it.
Oh, once he got that robe off, I'm just saying he had a strong Beetlejuice vibe coming down the ramp.
I know you're an elderly, but even Tim can tell you that's what we call drip, sir.
Yeah.
That is drip.
All over.
Poor Dave, look at his face.
Yeah, I know where he can go to get a shot to clear that up.
Wrong kind of drip.
It's the same place Drew McIntyre went to get his shot to lose all his charisma.
This one missed for me. I don't think it was a horrible match, but it missed. Go ahead, guys.
I felt that they took it easy on Punk because they were afraid he was going to get hurt. McIntyre's character development through this has not been great. Seth Rollins, the referee, was the most entertaining part of this damn match. What are we doing here?
Well, I thought that Drew McIntyre should have lost this match because Seth Rollins was trying to get Punk and accidentally took him out instead. That's what I thought. That's what I thought should have happened, because then the continuing screwing, and even Fritz and Bucky think that the continuing screwing of Drew McIntyre would have been great to continue working for it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And for Drew to not just pins. I mean, Punk laid there, like he really laid there for a while. And I like that. I like that Drew took the friendship bracelet back, and it's not over. it's not over by any means, but this one didn't hit all that hard for me. It's 3 jars at best.
I wouldn't even give it 3 jars. Here's why. It was clunky and it was awkward. It's like that first time when you're 15. And they acted like they didn't know what the hell they were doing. And, you know, the good news is they kept it brief. The problem I have with this match is Punk actually attacks Rollins. For all that WWE seemingly wants to make Punk a babyface, they sure as hell are making him
He's
like
a heel.
I mean, he is a heel.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you what,
100%.
Brian Clark said that Drew McIntyre comes off as the babyface in this feud.
Well, he's the victim.
But
I mean, everything keeps happening to him. He's the victim in this deal.
They're definitely handling CM Punk with kid gloves because.
And you get the whole altercation, the face-to-face. All of a sudden, he hits the go-to-sleep. The go-to-sleep looked like shit. The swinging back kick counter looked like shit. He is off, and I get it. He's been out of the ring since January, and before then, he was out of the ring because he was hurt, you know, at Wembley or whatever. So CM Punk hasn't wrestled a lot. He hasn't gotten a lot of reps, and that's going to be a problem. I think you're going to see that problem manifest itself as well with Britt Baker versus Sasha or Mercedes here at All In, but that's a whole different story. The ring rust, Dave, and you know this better than I do. It's a real thing. Your timing isn't quite right. You haven't had the physicality. It's been limited in scope and nature. Hasn't Punk had a couple house shows, but that was it. He really has not been involved in any sort of physical altercation with anybody. And you got to be ready for that.
Brand,
I can.
Punk's a fucking heel.
He's a heel, motherfucker.
Sorry, someone stole my friendship bracelet. I had to go get it.
Okay.
Anyway,
by the way, that was the dumbest gimmick of that entire match.
Yeah.
Which one?
Stole his friendship bracelet.
Oh, that.
I think he ought to kidnap Larry. It's time for him to kidnap Larry, and then every time you see Drew, he's chewing on like a meat stick.
And then you get the Punk and Rollins, AJ Becky wife swap.
I don't know.
Hey, coming out of this match too, I think the CM Punk and Rollins. No, actually, I think we're going to get a 3-way. I think it's going to be a 3-way at Bad Blood.
Yeah, I mean, well, remember, you got Bash in Berlin first, then Bad Blood.
I don't like the idea of either. I think you kick
the 31st of August.
Move Drew on to something else.
You think Drew's challenging Gunther in Berlin?
I don't think it matters who. They better feed somebody low level to Gunther in Berlin because we're going to get there in a second. But this whole thing was a cluster there at the end. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. You get the Shawn Michaels hesitation face from 1997 when he counts to 3, but he just ate a knee from CM Punk.
Why are you? Yes.
Why are you hesitating? That didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I get that Drew McIntyre beat you for the world title. I get that at WrestleMania. But CM Punk just needs you in the face 48 seconds ago.
Maybe they start to tell the story about how Punk was Rollins' hero. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. But also
he's the guy.
They went stiff in the ring. We didn't have the volume high enough, but I caught some of it. Nobody wants you here. Nobody likes you. Nobody trusts you. I mean, he went full in to CM Punk's ass. And quite frankly, it's probably true. There's a lot of people that don't want CM Punk to WWE.
And I think this is the money feud that they didn't get to.
They need to build it to WrestleMania, though. And this is the second half of the year.
And I think I said this in the chat. You know, I hate CM Punk. Thought he was an asshole, but I legit think that since he's back in WWE this time, he saw what a shit show AEW was, and I think he kind of appreciates the structure.
Hey, anybody that'll whoop the Young Bucks and Jungle Boys, okay with me.
CM Punk will never change. He'll always be the dickhead he was. That will be who he is. People are who they are, myself included.
But people also get wise with age.
He's not gotten any wiser, though. That's the thing. He's not gotten any wiser.
Well, the screwing, I think he's taking interest in younger talent and helping out. I think he's found a place in the company. He likes helping out the kids in NXT.
He's not trying.
I think that's probably where some of his problem in AEW came from, is that you got indie darlings that got a contract that didn't want to. You can't tell me anything.
And I want to remind you, he said he wanted to train the people in AEW too. So you're saying it's just because they wouldn't listen to him, and
right?
You think
and I
think a better opportunity at NXT that they'll listen to him.
I think there's a better attitude about learning from people that have actually done something.
And I think his NXT attitude has changed. He's not the driven force that he was before, where, hey, I just want to be the main event of WrestleMania. I think he realizes, hey, I'm probably not going to be there at this point at my age. I want to give back.
I mean, his theme song's "Look in My Eyes, what do you see? I'm old and prone to injury."
Yeah, so here's the thing, though. The choice is that you can have CM Punk and you can learn from CM Punk, or you can learn from the greatest bell-to-bell in-ring worker of all time in Shawn Michaels. Fuck CM Punk, just like Ohio State. Today, tomorrow, and forever, I'm taking Shawn Michaels.
Okay. Well, I would too, but I'm just saying that CM Punk has done a little something, and he knows.
Yeah, he's not.
He can't. He knows. He's got the psychology down.
I don't appreciate his attitude, but his in-ring works pretty good.
And his continuing screwing of Drew throughout this whole process has been good. So, unfortunately, this match did not hit for me. I'm gonna give it 3 jars. I'm gonna give it 3 jars, and I probably shouldn't, but I'm gonna give it 3.
Well, good, because Andrew already spit out his
mouth. Beetle Ref helped a lot.
Beetle Ref. Stop it.
Dude, he was entertaining, though, from the part where he's in the turnbuckle refusing to count. Because, Dave, as a referee, even you have to appreciate that. He knows they're not getting back in the ring, so he just lays up on the turnbuckle.
Oh, yeah.
And lets them beat the crap out of each other. It's like, forget it. We're not even going to pretend that we're going to enforce the rules here.
Right. So, it was good.
All right, so what's next, guys?
Gunther.
Nope, not that
one. Versus Damian Priest.
No. Hey, look at that. We got it right. If only we could get these numbers correct. It'd be great. So we have Gunther defeating Damian Priest. Mixed emotions on this one for me, guys. I like Damian Priest, but Gunther was kind of like the irresistible force.
We now have a world heavyweight champion we can be proud of.
What? We couldn't. Yes, you didn't like Damian Priest?
No, anybody that cashes in Money in the Bank has a fart in church title reign.
Yeah. Seth Rollins.
It's not his fault. I mean, he came after Seth, and Seth really elevated that belt. He took that belt.
He took that literally. He took that belt. They was just given to him,
and he elevated it. I mean, he was the working champion. You had Roman on the other channel that couldn't be bothered to show up that often.
Oh, for God's sake!
And
JD Hoop is right.
Yes,
that was the best spot of the entire match.
And his chest was already hamburgered up a little bit, so I'm thinking he'd been taking a lot of chops on the house circuit.
Well, my son asked me, he goes, "Why is his chest already jacked up?" And I said, "Well, they've been on house shows, and he's been getting chopped a lot."
But no, I mean, Damian Priest did a good job, but there was just something about his title reign that was falling short for me.
He's got to work his way back up. Because the character is good. He's good in the ring. He's a good promo. He's ready for prime time. Something is missing.
I don't know what it was. I mean, he didn't chase. He just ran down there and cashed in.
And that could be why.
And Io Sky, the same problem. She cashed in. Didn't really care for her title reign either. I mean, people that cash in Money in the Bank I have never seen anybody book strong after that. Gunther, you knew. I mean, I think that they mishandled Gunther. I don't think he should have dropped the Intercontinental title to Sami Zayn. I think he should have marched straight through, and he should have gone into this match as the Intercontinental Champion. And we had that shot of him holding both belts up over his head and letting the Intercontinental title go. I don't think he should have lost to Sami Zayn. They should have pushed him straight through undefeated to the world title.
Nah, I still like the old school process of you get the belt off of him before you put the new one on him. By the way, I disagree with this, Mr. Brandon Perkins. The Judgment Day stuff that's been going on is some of the more entertaining stuff in all of WWE.
And it was part of my prediction last night was that Dominic was going to turn on Rhea and replacing and that Liv would replace Rhea in the Judgment Day. But I also said that I thought Damian Priest was going to cause a problem in Gunther's and Finn Balor was going to cause a problem, and that was going to be the end of the Judgment Day for Damian Priest also.
I think you're going to get Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley unification.
I don't think either one of them needs it. I think Rhea's going to be her own entity.
I think Damian might need it.
Yeah. So the ring general was inevitable, gentlemen. Royal Rumble, he and Cody, he goes an hour inside the ring. Cody comes in last. We saw what Gunther was capable of then, and he still had the Intercontinental title. I'm more like Dave, Tim. I appreciate and respect the old school, take the title off of them. But you ain't seen it since WrestleMania 6. What the hell's the harm? Have him put both belts up in the air. It ain't going to hurt nothing. And Gunther deserved that moment. When I say Gunther is inevitable, you talk about screwing yourself. If WWE did not put the world title on Gunther tonight, then everything was lost and it didn't matter. From the way they've cut the promos in the empty arenas to the way he became the king of the ring, everything has been a march to this moment. The problem is, to Dave's point, to your point, to my point I'm about to make, the counterbalance to that is supposed to be Damian Priest. They're supposed to be meeting together at the apex. And Damian Priest, unfortunately, as world champion, did not pull his weight to make that happen. The best thing they can do is get the title off of Priest, let him feud with Finn, and let Gunther move on. Because whoever Gunther wrestles in Germany, because you have to assume he's going to headline the card in his home country.
Guaranteed.
Is fodder. So Jey Uso, you're up, buddy. Or whoever it is, they're going to get destroyed by the ring general.
Well, I think that I think what you're doing at this point is you're going to have a strong champion. I think that Braun Breaker.
Braun Strowman might actually be good fodder.
Yeah, but I think Braun Breaker is going to become this unbeatable badass. You got the world heavyweight champion and Gunther that's an unbeatable badass. And I think that collision is going to eventually come together. And I think it would have been better if Gunther would have continued to be a monster after WrestleMania with the Intercontinental Championship. But it is what it is. He won the King of the Ring. He's on a tear. He's the world champion. And but I think that you're building both of these monsters to a clash eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't think of anybody on the Raw roster right at the moment that matches up to Gunther. I mean, I can't think of anybody.
The Miz.
No.
John Cena.
They're gonna have to feed
maybe.
him. Yeah.
I mean, Andrade. I think Andrade may match up good to him.
No. Oh, please.
That's just him being a Flair, Mark. Don't listen to him. That's Flair's wife.
Andrade is a husband. Cannon fodder. What are you talking about?
Yeah. That match doesn't go 10 minutes. He's more concerned with Carmella Hayes over there on SmackDown there, Dave. Andrade is. But
so
like the finish to this too. It was pretty predictable though. Balor I didn't think Balor was going to put the foot on the rope, so I like that. That was different. And then when he hits the power bomb into the sleeper, I mean, and it's ball game, and that's where I say Gunther's an inevitability. At WrestleMania, they made the demarcation. This is the Triple H era. Vince McMahon is dead. We're going to be a professional wrestling company. To your point, Dave, professional wrestling company. In the Intercontinental Champion in Braun Breaker, in the World Champion in Gunther. Cody Rhodes is a hell of a professional wrestler, whether you like him or you don't. And then you got those Island Boys in the Bloodline. So
right. Well, we'll get to that in just a second.
So we got.
Go ahead.
But this is a good. This is a man. 3.5, 3 and a mouthful on the jars. The part where Gunther rolled Damian Priest too close to the ropes, and I can't believe they kept showing the replay of it, because I thought the Gunther. I mean,
they wouldn't have counted it because
they rolled Gunther to the ropes.
Yeah,
and I knew he was going to put his foot on the rope. I didn't see Finn Balor putting his foot on the rope, and I like how he did that. And then Damian Priest, let me stop what I'm doing right now and watch the replay.
Yeah.
But I like that they used the replay. It's
the only time they've ever done that in wrestling. Like, wait a minute.
You got a 40-yard football board to be able to see everything. Yeah.
I would have popped after the match if Gunther would have got out of the ring and him and Finn kissed. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Damn.
But no, I mean, this went just like I called it. So, I mean, that's the only thing. I thought Gunther should have been more dominant in his victory. I think that Priest had a really good showing.
I look forward to the Priest and Finn.
But I really wanted a Gunther domination because he's been dominating. So I'm giving it 3 and a mouthful. And because that one spot where he rolled him really, that did not hit for me. This
is what I will say in Damian Priest's defense, because I don't want anyone to think I'm shitting on him, because I'm like Timmy. I love his character. I love his persona. I like the way he carries himself. He's got good move sets, that sort of thing. I think Gunther got the best match of him out of anybody that's been since he's been champion. I think this is the best outing that we've seen from Damian Priest, and it was in a loss. Granted, it's about the storytelling and continuations and all that stuff, which I also appreciate that they're doing. But the one thing I dislike about this match, and I don't mind, I send your hate tweets to @30yearfan. Gunther did not need the Gaga to become the world champion. They had him on such a course. You didn't need to taint this victory.
Well, there's storytelling involved too, sir.
But you have a rematch on Raw, and you get the same result, and you don't have to do it to taint his victory here for the world title.
All I needed from Finn Balor was him to come out, Damian Priest to take exception that he was out. Starting that, I told you stay in the back. I don't need your help. While he's distracted, Gunther gets that sleeper snapped onto him. I mean, I don't think that he needed to be so heavily involved.
I think they did it just to further the story they're going to tell with Finn and Priest. I'm good with it. Everyone knew Gunther was going to win, regardless. It didn't matter.
And in my closing statements for tonight's show, I will tie it all together for you, Tim.
Okay, let's go to the main event.
You think we're going to see you think we're going to see Finn as the Demon against Gunther at some point?
No,
we're going to see him against Damian first.
I get that, but would he?
The Demon outside of WWE, the Demon was a heel, but the Demon is a babyface character inside the WWE.
Yeah, I guess so. But you'd have to whip out the Demon against someone like Gunther, but
when he
probably will against Priest though.
But when he was in the Bullet Club and he was doing Carnage and he was doing, the Poison, all that, he was a heel. I mean, he absolutely was a heel. But in WWE, anytime we've seen the Demon, it's been as a babyface.
True.
So my question is, do you get the Dom and Finn tag team against Damian and Rhea? the complete implosion.
No, I think you get
it's a little odd because Dom is
get Dom and Liv against maybe Damian and maybe Damian Priest and maybe Damian Priest and Rhea.
Yeah.
You get a mixed tag. You're not going to get Rhea fighting men.
Yeah, I know it was a joke. I may make another one. Calm down, guys. Can we go to the main event?
That was a fair question.
You for that. Calm down. Calm down.
Bitch.
All right, so main event, we have the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, versus the supposed tribal chief, Solo Sikoa. Sikoa, not Sikoa.
How we like Cody's entrance?
He's not a tree.
I think he reinforced his whole "I'm not scared of you guys." He was loose.
Something was amiss here, though.
I mean, we got him coming out of the trailer. We got him walking Pharaoh.
Got Arn.
We got his mother-in-law suiting him up. We got Arn giving him a pep talk.
And Arn using his stroke to get his boys there, which was hilarious.
I think Solo was the miss here.
Well, we knew this went. There's way too much Gaga in this match.
Well, when they said it was tribal rules,
I
knew that was going to be the
yeah. We knew that wasn't going to benefit Solo.
But without the Gaga, you don't get Roman the way you got Roman.
Yeah, but it felt really underwhelming.
I think that was a fake injury because none of the medical staff ran over to him. I don't think Fatu is really hurt.
Yeah, I kind of thought so too. It seemed like it. I'm gonna tell you what.
But it was a really odd placement.
Speaking of not really hurt, Rhea, the way she was doing her arm, she made it look like her shoulder was honestly was out.
Kind of like Alexa used to do.
She made it. I mean, we were all trying to decide: is her shoulder really out?
Alexa had double jointed elbows, and she used it a lot, where she would make it look like her arm was bent too far because she could.
I forget who she beat doing that. She tricked him into thinking she was really, really hurt, and I mean, obviously it was part of the match. But
I think it might have been Nia back.
Then she hit her with the DDT or whatever. Yeah.
But
I don't have a problem with the entrance. It's good to see Arn back on WWE TV. That's pretty cool. Cody using his stroke to get Arn on.
I thought it was boring as fuck.
What's that? Arn?
Him walking all the way from the trailer.
Oh. Man, I don't know. It was just different. The camera angles tonight were incredible.
They know how to shoot TV, and now the WWE has always been a phenomenal production company, and then you paired them with TKO, so this is only going to get better and better as the years go on.
It's just fresh ideas, man.
Yeah. Without Kevin Dunn and
I like the entrance.
Shit, you know.
I like the small entrance and not the big stage. I thought that was really, really well done.
Well, I think that's all due to the stadium show.
Yeah, but they're not blocking the view, and
yeah.
I mean, they saw.
By the way, 57,000. That's it. That was a tiny crowd considering all that was open to them.
They had a lot of the top section canvassed off. They showed it a couple times.
Cleveland sucks.
Yeah, but my question coming out of this, I mean, we did all that. We all felt like Roman was coming back tonight, and he did. And with his new merchandise, so OTC.
OTC. And then I was like, original tribal chief. Okay, got it.
So he comes out and he does what we think what he's going to do. And he Solo had called him out and got what he wanted. No Paul Heyman tonight.
That's the one thing I missed on this entire show.
Yeah.
Which is where I was joking with you, Tim. I'm going to have closing arguments. And it's not really an argument. It's just a general observation. But that's the one thing I missed, Dave, the whole show. Well, because I thought we'd hear it. I thought when he walked to the back, you'd see Heyman come out, you know.
But my main shopping list of things I'd like to see. What have I been trumpeting about Cody Rhodes for as long as we've been doing anything on doing these shows?
They're not going to turn him heel.
Kerry Von Erich.
No, I think with Roman back as an over babyface,
that pop was loud.
Yeah,
58,000 or not, low attendance for a stadium or not.
Could we see the emergence
Roman got the big pop?
We could see Homelander Cody.
No, buddy, he's John Cena.
They are advertising vodka when Cody comes out.
Well, here's the thing.
Them kids.
Here's the thing.
You didn't say that though.
Those kids ain't drinking American Mules.
When your grandchildren met Cody Rhodes, you didn't say "fuck them kids." You talked about how much you love.
He's over with me for how he did my grandkids, but if he made them cry, he'd be over with me for making them cry.
Well, here's the deal. WWE as a company is going to be transitioning that roster because you're going to have Raw, and the focus is going to be on Raw because it's on Netflix. So there's going to be some sort of draft or something that goes on before January, and you're going to see lots of movement. I don't think you're going to see Cody and Roman on the same roster.
I would agree with that statement, and I think you keep Cody on the kid-friendly show.
Yep, I would keep him on SmackDown. I would move all of the bloodline onto the Netflix where it's basically whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Including eating each other's faces off if they choose to do that, like Haku.
Let's not do that. That would be terrible.
Yeah, well, that's Haku, though. I mean, he really bit a man's nose off.
think what I needed tonight was if I had all the... Thank you, Coach. I think if I had all that interference from the bloodline, I need to see what they're going to be going up against a Survivor Series because that's where it's coming up. There's going to be a bloodline versus bloodline match at Survivor Series. I need them to start putting that together.
War Games.
Yeah, I mean, we got Roman.
Roman.
It's pretty obvious.
I need the Usos.
But I think the fourth man's going to be Sami Zayn because guess what? He ain't doing nothing right now.
I agree. I think Sami's going to be.
And when's the last time Sami Zayn was interesting?
They took the IC title off of him too. Let's not forget about that. I mean, like legit, they just took the title off of him. So
when was the last time that Sami Zayn was must-see TV?
The night before they didn't give him the title in Montreal.
I think it was when I saw him at Dallas on NXT.
When he was breaking
WrestleMania 32.
When he was in there with the bloodline breaking them.
I'm just messing with you, Dave. Yeah, they didn't put the title on him in Montreal, and that crowd, you talk about hot for that. Yeah. Was it Elimination Chamber or whatever it was, the February pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Before the Cody match at 39. And then you had fans wanting to put him in that match, the WrestleMania match. That's how hot he was a year and a half ago. The one thing that I want to point it out about all of this, as I made the joke that I went 7 for 7, I think you did too, Dave. Maybe you.
No, I didn't.
You didn't get them all.
No,
I went 7 for 7
Bailey.
on this. And the point I was making is, and to your point, Tim, most of this went the way everybody that pays attention thought it was going to go. I don't know how you could have not put the title on Gunther. I don't know how you don't let Braun walk out of the event without the Intercontinental title. I'll give Dave that. The Nia Bailey thing could have gone either way because they had Tiffy time in there too. So, Rhea, it looked obvious. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. It looked very obvious. It was very basic. It was very elementary. But here's what Triple H successfully did today. He hit the Control-Alt-Delete button. He's got new champions. He's got workers. He's got heels. And he's got a lot to play with because every match was not conclusive in the finish of the stories.
And we got everything that we thought we were going to get, but he did it in a manner that was very entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like I said, he's going to need that because there's getting ready to be a lot of tumult moving in the company.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that.
So let's wrap this up, put a bow on it. We're just at an hour. Thank you for joining us for our SummerSlam recap. I am your co-host, Timmy C, along with Pondwater Dave. This is where you talk.
I'm going to. Oh, I thought you were going to say something about Andrew.
I will after you speak.
All right. I'm Palmwater Dave. Catch me on the Ram Network with Timmy C as we do World Class Flashback. It comes out weekly. Join Andrew and what, Tim?
And thank you, Andrew,
Plug our shit.
for joining us.
I love that he's an elderly and he had pizza, so he's probably getting heartburn now.
I don't get heartburn anymore. I don't get heartburn.
And his Gable beer.
Yeah, and his Dan Gable beer. The beer's a shooter. Listen, if y'all like what we're doing, the Ram Network's available, $10 a month, tons of bonus app. It stands for wrestling and more.
And it's better than this bullshit we've done for the last hour.
Well, this bullshit we've done for the last hour is pretty damn good, by the way.
That's pretty good bullshit there, Dave. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, the TNA Top 10 will be on, first to rank top American Olympians. And we've already got some feedback from people who weren't on the list. And spoiler alert, Muhammad Ali was not on the list of greatest Olympians. So there you go. 1960 gold medalist in boxing.
Did you put Cassius Clay on, though?
We did not put Cassius Clay. I was just going to say he was Cassius Clay. Then we're going to cover in hour 2 the ACC plus Notre Dame, since that's where they typically fit. We will break down everybody's thoughts on where everyone finishes in the ACC. Terry, my co-host, hosts I Was There. He and Dave Dave in the HSV did Bash at the Beach 2000. He and this Dave have done Saturday night's main event from Dallas, Texas. Right, Dave?
Right. The premise is that the co-host, Terry hosts, the co-host comes up with an event that he attended. Like I was front row center at 2006 Saturday night main event. We've all got them. But if you're a member of the Ram Network, you can submit what a great show that you went to, what a historic match you attended, something that was important to you. And then you can be a guest host on I Was There, because guess what? You was there. It's a neat concept.
And it's an excellent show. Obviously, Dave and Tim do world-class flashback. Somewhere in 1983, the Von Erichs are still fighting the Freebirds, and Bam Bam is the best worker of the bunch. And by the way, there is not a Von Erich that gives a good promo, regardless of what Pondwater Dave says. But remember, folks, he's an elderly, and that's strictly his childhood. What else do we got? FFP, what are you guys doing this week, Tim?
I don't know. TJ hasn't put the notes out yet.
TJ hasn't put the notes out yet. Last week they did 1994, Hootie and the Blowfish.
And then I went to see him in concert. That was badass.
And then he saw him in concert. I'm sure they'll talk about that. And Dave, what's up on Talking Wrestling this week?
We don't have a guest this week. We're going to do a SummerSlam recap.
A SummerSlam recap. So if you didn't think this bullshit was good enough, ladies and gentlemen, you can hear Dave,
for some worse
Davis,
and we're gonna find out. Tune in to find out what Amy and Justin think about it.
I can hear Amy right now. I thought it was really good. Why? Arn was there.
Arn was there. As long as Arn's there.
I saw Arn and needed a moment to myself.
We love you, Amy. We mean it. No one tattle on us. She may not be watching this. But no, seriously, guys, we have a lot of fun. $10 a month. Join us. It's a Starbucks trip and a half.
Coach Keith Morrison will be with us Tuesday.
We love Keith. I can be your guest on Tuesday. Yes. We love Keith.
We do.
Really good wrestling fan and funny guy, like low-key funny.
Oh, he just started. He was the first in the chat.
Backhanded compliment.
No, like
funny. He's
low-key funny.
Like you won't really think he's funny, but he's kind of funny.
This
first thing he posted tonight was, "Damn, Pondwater, I spent more time with you today than I did with my wife," because he just got through watching the whole pay-per-view with me.
No, he's got that darts, Timmy. That's what I was saying. He's not got the loud, ostentatious personality of the three of us. Got it?
Yeah, because that's what I think of when I think of Pondwater. Is loud,
is ostentatious
yeah.
Or just old?
Old.
Demented, deranged.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Ostentatious 316 says, "I just whooped your ass."
Jesus Christ.
There it is.
Too much Gable beer for that one. Thank you guys for joining us. Y'all have a great night.
Peace.